This actually gives us kind of a really good, we're pretty powerful in this regard. We can use, pack our beverages that that we're just sipping on throughout the day. We can pack those full of nutrients, and then in the meantime, avoid some of the more obviously the sugary drinks and that sort of stuff. So that's what I'm going to teach you guys about today. Let's see here. A lot of one of the things that I hear a lot is that we are in a hurry. So we don't have a lot of time for, implementing the clean eating lifestyle and the routines and stuff. And so I hear this a lot. And so this is one of the ways that I think we can quickly sort of improve our health, and start seeing some benefits. And that leads to a snowball effect. So with people who have really busy lifestyles, like my clients that come to me who are nurses and teachers and things, who are really busy and on their feet a lot and don't have a lot of time, I of course work with them on getting protein and things like that in through their beverages as well, instead of skipping meals. But today I want to talk about more about waters and teas and just things that we like to drink and that will hydrate us throughout the day. Because as you guys know, water, we all know, like, we're supposed to be drinking a ton of water, right? We hear this all the time. And it's different depending on who you ask. They'll tell you different things. My rule as a personal trainer was half your body weight in water each day. And that is, that's all you need. So some people will say a gallon of water for females, 2 gallons of water a day for males. And I just feel like that's overdoing it, and it's not necessary. So this, water, for some people, water is really just what we flush our toilets with, right? Let's be honest here. But because it can be boring, right? If we're just drinking just water all the time, it can be boring. And so I get that. But there's so many things that we can do to just our water, which I'm going to talk about, things that we can add to our water to make it more fun and exciting, as well as better for us. And don't forget sparkling water, carbonated water, SodaStream, or just, I brought a couple things over here. This is one that I buy a lot. It's just a sparkling mineral water. Things like this you can do a lot with them. So I do a lot of diluting of things. So that means I take the water and I add things to it, like pureed fruit. This is one of my favorite things. You know how they sell the naked juices and stuff like that, and we'll talk about fruit juices here in a minute, but they're high in sugar because they're heavily concentrated. And so in order to sort of kill 2 birds with 1 stone and get my water up, and at the same time have a little bit of fruit and yumminess, you can mix them together. And that's what I do. So I do like 1/4 cup of pureed fruit, like some berries or something, to 12 to 16 ounces of sparkling water with ice. Or you can just infuse your water, regular water or sparkling water. You can just put chunks of like frozen mango or pineapple or blueberries and strawberries and things like that, and you can infuse it with those fruit. Just put it in the pitcher with it, and it starts taking on the flavor of it, and it all just gets infused together. My kids really love this. This is something that when I'm not, like, my kids will ask me for. So when I'm not on my game and I don't have it in the refrigerator, they will come and ask me for it. So they watch us. So like I was sort of bringing up, fruit juices are heavily concentrated. There's a lot of fruit in a fruit juice. So if you've ever juiced yourself, you know that it takes quite a bit of fruit to make a 12 ounce or 8 ounce even thing of juice. So it's just a lot more than you would be eating if you were eating your fruit. So that is the downside to smoothies and that sort of stuff. And so a lot of coaches will tell you to avoid juices altogether. And I say utilize them for what works for you. So instead of saying, avoid all fruit juices. I'm saying just use small amounts. So because there's so much sugar in it, and we don't want the sugar, use it as a flavor additive to your waters and your teas. So this, this is, you can get some really, really, good for you organic high antioxidant juices and stuff that just takes a little tiny bit to flavor an entire big thing of water. So, we're talking a very small amount of sugar when you are only using a quarter of a cup in a huge glass of whatever. And you're also, usually drinking it over a period of time. So you are not likely to spike your insulin. I've found it takes about 25 grams or more for the average female to spike your insulin of sugar. So 25 grams or more of sugar in a sitting. And we're talking about maybe getting like 5 to 10 in an entire 20 ounces or so. So you should be okay there. All right, I think I got that one. So that was a quarter to a half of a cup of fruit juice or juice puree to an entire 16 to 24 ounces of liquid. That's what that was. All right, so teas. Teas are amazing for so many reasons. So teas are really high in antioxidants. So the green, black, white teas are all very high in antioxidants. The herbal teas also have antioxidants and vitamins and minerals and nutrients in them. So it also counts towards your daily water allotment. So tea counts for that. And so you can, hi guys. So you can use your teas how you would with water, like a base. And then you can do the same stuff we were just talking about by flavor additives with your fruit purees, your fruit juices, or your infusing of your fruits. So, but the thing with teas is you have to buy the teas organic. Because they're heavily sprayed in pesticides and they're not washed before they're dried. Just the processing of it doesn't allow for that. So the teas wouldn't turn out right if they washed them first. So shoot for organic on your teas. And now a lot of the companies are coming out with organic teas that are, just as inexpensive as the other ones. So I have a video that's all about teas. I will put links here when I get off of here. I'll put a link to that video. I also have another video I'm going to bring up in a second and some other tools. So you'll be able to find all that. All right. So milks, milk is something that I get questioned on all the time. So what should we drink milk or not? I have a video with this also, so I'll post the link to that as well. But typically, because milk or dairy is an inflammatory, it inflames our arteries and our organs, and is just kind of can wreak some havoc on our intestines. Most of us on a holistic nutrition program, lifestyle program, avoid dairy, at least for the most part. And so when it comes to drinking milk, I don't drink milk. So I swap that out for other things. So my video about dairy will go more into it because it's not just that it's an inflammatory. There's some other stuff. It's high in sugar and some other things. So I use almond, hemp, or coconut milk for if I need something that's creamy like that, to add it to my teas or to add it into a decaf coffee. I have that a couple times a week. I'll make decaf coffee in the morning. So I use those for that. And as well as, cooking and things like that. If you need something to cook, I use broths as well, instead of the dairy milks. But I will put a link to the dairy video as well so that you guys can get more in depth in that if you want to. Just remember that soy milk has interacts with our sex hormones. So it can cause some side effects in that regard. Menopausal women, especially, things like that, because we're talking about the sex hormones, estrogen, progesterone. So that's about it for that one. All right, so aloe juice is something that a lot of people aren't familiar with, but they should be, because it is also extremely good for digestive health. Aloe juice is pretty much purely soluble fiber. So it is like what we mix, like Metamucil or something that a doctor would mix up and have, a patient taking for cholesterol, for high cholesterol issues and blood pressure issues. So aloe helps to flush out our intestinal tract and keep us regular, as well as keep our cholesterol levels low and our blood pressure low and stuff. So you can use aloe juice the same ways that I use as a flavor additive, like I do with the fruit juices. And you can buy them already filtered. Some they come flavored, of course, but the flavored ones typically have artificial flavors and possibly artificial sweeteners and stuff. So one of the ones that I like a lot is this aloe glow juice. So that this one is per serving. So there's only 25 calories in this entire 12 ounces or 11.2 ounces. It's only 6 grams of sugar in this whole thing. And I would break this into 2 separate drinks. So that's barely any sugar, but it's enough it kind of sweetens up whatever you're mixing it with. And it's good. And it tastes good. So the one that I just showed you, this one isn't flavored. It's just slightly sweetened with cane sugar. But you can get them, flavored, but you just have to read the labels. All right. So with the aloe juice, just make sure it's filtered. I don't know if I said that. Just make sure that it's filtered, because you can, it just has to go through a process of being okay for us to drink. So. All right, so coconut water there's so much awesome stuff about coconut water coming out. A lot of athletes have switched away from the Gatorade and like the more sugary type drinks and are using coconut water for their electrolytes. So it's really high in antioxidants as well as electrolytes. So for people who are really active, coconut water's amazing. And you can, like I said, you can flavor it with fruit. You can do all the same things you do with water, with the coconut water. And so shop around, find the ones that you like there, and also read your labels. Make sure that they're not sweetening those with artificial sweeteners and flavors. This is one of the things that is relatively new, probably a year or two for me, where I have started using turmeric and ginger a lot. So I grate the turmeric and ginger roots and make tea. So I boil it in a pot on the stove with cinnamon and stuff. And I have a recipe I can drop in the comments for you guys. But the turmeric ginger, they're both really high in antioxidants. So vitamin C and the things that keep us healthy, keep our immune system up, and keep us from getting viruses and things. So ginger and turmeric and cinnamon all together make an amazing tea. So I'll put that recipe for you guys. Herbs as well. So basil and mint and lemon balm and fresh stevia leaves and things like that also are all really great for infusing into your beverages, muddling into your beverages, or even, like I said, steeping like a tea. So those are some good ideas, and I will put that recipe for you guys. This one's a little obvious. It's sort of a trend right now. So those of us who've been making kombucha for years are grateful that everybody's on board with this now and realizing why this is why our grandparents and our grandmothers were always pushing the apple cider vinegar. I don't know if you had a grandmother like that, but the apple cider vinegar when we were kids, it was the holy grail of everything in the medicine cabinet, right? Well, the reason for that is the bacteria that is in it. So kombucha is good bacteria that our intestinal tract, our gut, really loves. So it helps to keep us regular. It helps our filtration of the toxins and everything. Our moods are affected by our gut bacteria. So if we can keep our microbiome balanced, meaning our bad bacteria low and our good bacteria levels high, if we can do that, it drastically affects our moods as well as our hormones and everything else. So our body just starts clicking better that way. So that is what the probiotics are all about. That's the rave with kombucha and apple cider vinegar. It really just has amazing health benefits. If this is something you don't like, then like I said, you can mix this with the other stuff that we've been talking about, the waters and the teas and the different things. So if I've shopped around a lot for kombucha, and so I know the flavors that I like and the few brands that I shop regularly and stuff. So it might just be that you got some that you just didn't like, because I don't like probably 80% of them, but then there's that 20% that I actually like. So just keep at it. All right, so I'm going to wrap up. You guys are more than invited for my free week of healing every month inside my holistic nutrition group. That's the 1st through the 7th, so we're kicking off on Friday this month for March. And then, like I said, we do it every month because it's practice. So I approach this more at we can do it, but we just have to learn the skills to do it, because this is nutrition has been ingrained in our head our entire lives. And so there's a lot of reprogramming and new mindsets and habits that need shifted. So that's what that's for. We clean eat for a week and we do it together, and we support each other in that. And we get better at it every time we do it. So it's, if you screw up, but we get better at it next time. And so it doesn't really matter that much, right? So we do our best, and that's what we do. So, that way I'm hoping it takes out as much of the intimidation as we can with trying to adapt new habits. So, let me make sure that's it. All right, you guys, if you have any questions, pop them in below. Let me know, and I will get back to you with my responses as soon as I can. Great to see you, as always holding space for you, and I will talk to you soon. Have a wonderful rest of your day.